Must be a great thrill. It's a joke. I'm supposed to get some more money than I got. I don't care what O.J. Simpson got. He don't mean nothing to me. You understand? No, man, I've been shafted. Somebody has stroked me. Do you understand? Yeah. And that man down there from the Dominican Republic, I don't identify with him. I'm from Muncie, Indiana. Vamonos. Do you understand? Shit. Tell me something else. I ain't got no business.
Yes. Especially, people ask me from time to time, standard thing, we ask one another, how are you? And I said, well, I'm out. And the person, I don't understand. Well, you have to be in to appreciate that. Where were you? Well, the walls were quite high. No people in turrets, no guns, but heavy-duty guys. We'll wrap you like a cocoon, man.
Right, Margaret? Sweet woman, my fourth wife. First three were rotten. Teenagers, all of them kids. But fun. No brains, Nothing up here, but from here on down, gangbusters. My wife now, she's 72.
Jonathan Winters redefined modern comedy by turning the entire world into an endless, spontaneous playground of brilliant characters.
I call her the princess. Come in, my child. Lovely creature, isn't she? She's come down for her harp lesson. Jamie, there's so much I want to talk to you about. You must get out of those wet clothes. We'll have some sandwiches, some goodies, and some hot tea. Igor.
Severe personal anxiety constantly fueled Winters' fast creative frequency, blending his eccentric comedic personas with a vulnerable private life.
Writing, painting, but I still enjoy television, and and when I say still enjoy it, it's fed me in more ways than one.
That just about does it for this evening. Hope you've had a lot of fun and enjoyed our little show. And watch us in the weeks to come. Oh, incidentally, there's a signal from the mothership.
Get ready to step inside the mind of Jonathan Winters, a legendary pioneer who believed humor was the ultimate mistress of sorrow.
You get mad? Do you have a bad temper?
Yeah, a woman asked me not too long ago, my son, which goes along with temper, what your question was. She said, what is your sign? I said, slippery when wet. No. What is your sign in the galaxy?
1. The unscripted comedy genius of Jonathan Winters and Robin Williams. Although Robin Williams was a global superstar, he always humbled himself before Jonathan Winters.
That anything and everybody is mockable in a wonderful way.
Jonathan is Jonathan Winters, the acknowledged master of improvisation.
You have come to the temple of the unusual. I am Chang Wai Chi Nu Chao. Welcome, Ed Radley.
Whenever these two brilliant minds shared a stage, their lightning-fast synergy transformed the show into chaotic play.
It's a joke. I'm supposed to get some more money than I got. I don't care what O.J. Simpson got. He don't mean nothing to me. You understand? No, man, I've been shafted. Somebody has stroked me. Do you understand? Yeah. And that man down there from the Dominican Republic, I don't identify with him.
Since Winters possessed a naturally crazy persona, he could easily construct complete worlds out of thin air.
But we've all seen the guy at the meeting, at the convention, at the gas station, in the living room, on his porch that does this.
Guess what I am? Huh?
I don't know. You're being very foolish.
I'm a moose.
Do you do this on the porch a lot?
While most comedians relied on prepared scripts, this fearless pioneer constantly embraced the terrifying thrill of raw improvisation.
Now listen to us. I know you've never learned to read or write. It doesn't make any difference. You're a beautiful human being. You're going to be free. You're going to be free. You'll go north tomorrow night on the packet.
If an audience demanded pure laughter, Winters immediately delivered his iconic vocal range to capture their absolute attention.
Won't you please help? A mime is a terrible thing to waste.
You heard what he said. Mime is a terrible thing to waste.
Look at this.
This also means surrender.
It's also basic Egyptian army training course. Okay, ready? Drop gun, again. One more time. Drop gun, again. Drop gun, again.
Even though decades have passed since this historic broadcast, their unmatched artistic bond continues to inspire modern performers worldwide. 2. When Jonathan Winters made Dean Martin break character on live television. When Jonathan Winters joined Dean Martin's legendary show, they created the most famous unscripted airplane sketch in television history.
Where Dean is sitting on an airplane and Jonathan Winters comes in, and all Dean has are the straight lines on a cue card over Jonathan's shoulder, asking him half a dozen questions. Dean has absolutely no idea, nor does anyone else on that set, including me, how Jonathan's going to answer. And what you see...
Although there was no written script, Winters immediately launched into a brilliant, spontaneous stream of consciousness performance.
Sweet, boozed. Well, Fred, what time are we taking off, sweetheart? Wait, the skirt's awful short, hmm? Hey, little devil. I love him to touch him on the leg a little bit. How about a little kiss, huh? Give us a little... forget it. Trying to get into this thing, boy.
When the sketch required standard passenger interactions, Winters instead unleashed bizarre war stories to shock his co-star.
Forget the bell.
You ain't allowed. You can't read that sign, defense de humor?
Defense de humor?
Yes.
Defense de humor.
That means put that thing out. That's what it means.
That's part of the penalty you pay, clown, for going first class. You can do almost anything you want to. You understand that?
Since his mind moved at an incredible speed, Winters easily invented imaginary wives to keep the audience guessing.
What fun. No brains, you know. Nothing up here, but from here on down... oh, gangbusters. My wife now, she's 72. A little senile, you know, but a lot of money. You know, when you get on in years, that's what you marry for anyway.
While Martin tried to maintain some order, Winters constantly hijacked the conversation with unexpected, surreal punchlines.
Hey, you don't have any sauce on you, do you? Can I watch you on... do you?
No, I don't.
Tranquilizers, anything like that to calm me down? I am nervous.
You mind if I just try and read this
Hey, what are
script
you?
of mine?
Are you reading one of your television scripts, or is it a movie?
That's a movie.
It is a movie.
Why are you yelling at me? I'm right next to you.
I happen to be in a cannon outfit in World War II, and...
If a performer wanted to survive this wild environment, they had to embrace Winters' unpredictable comedic genius.
Well, I just did that.
I know what you did. How about that ring, huh? Hey, you've done all right. I don't wear much jewelry, just this thing, chain of time. Tell me about your movie. I've enjoyed most of your pictures. You played a lot of cowboy stuff, haven't you?
I imagine so.
Hey, let me give you something here. This is a good one.
Even though the cameras kept rolling, Martin completely lost his composure before Winters' brilliant, unscripted performance.
It's back there in tourists, and you're up here in first class.
Well, she's a little more nervous than I am.
Well, if we crash, she's gonna crash too, ain't she?
Boy, don't talk about that. Don't even talk about that. That's nothing to jest about. Whatever came into your mind about that? Geez, you got my thing going around in my face.
3. The moment Jonathan Winters joked about his 56-year marriage.
Jonathan Winters, everybody. How about that?
I'm going to take my teeth off.
Yeah, please do, because when I said beautiful...
I understand.
Yes, it really ruined the whole thing.
Jimmy, this is an incredible treat for me.
While Winters immediately electrified the live studio audience, his quiet domestic life remained surprisingly humble.
Thank you.
She said one night, a couple of years ago, you've been on how long?
2.5 years.
There you go. It was 2.5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And she said, wake up, dummy. No, I wasn't next to
Your
her.
wife? Yeah.
I had fallen asleep because it was a bad ball game.
Although family stability kept him grounded, Winters constantly struggled with severe emotional highs and lows.
Anything happens.
Yes.
I made this in therapy.
Really?
No, actually it comes from Bali, but you know, we did make things similar like this.
You did? Oh, good.
Yeah. Keep the hands active, you know. And a woman turned to me, she said, "What have we made here?" And I saw, you know, you got to be very careful.
Since professional therapy sessions rarely tamed his spirit, the legendary comedian proudly embraced his eccentric mind.
She said, "Are you here because of drugs or booze?" And I said, "No. Would you believe it, Mrs. Emerson? I know you come here 3 times a week to work with the unusuals, and would you believe I'm just naturally crazy?" And the woman, boy, right away.
While his erratic behavior often exhausted close friends, his devoted wife remained his ultimate lifelong anchor.
Well, gosh, we've been married 56 years, and
Wow.
and you know, menopause starts at the altar. Wait a minute, but the whole thing, you meet as wardens, but you die as prisoners. That's a little heavy, but no.
When domestic life offered him a peaceful sanctuary, Winters channeled his wild imagination into surrealist oil paintings.
Boy, I got a lot of...
That's a great painting, too.
I got a lot of heat from down south.
You did.
Whoa, Triple K didn't let me alone.
You won an Emmy, you won a Grammy, you've won Mark Twain Award, which is...
Although his controversial artworks sometimes sparked local outrage, his undeniable genius still collected prestigious national honors.
And he said, "Hey, boys, how you doing? Don't look like you're doing too good." And I mocked him, and I said, "No, we ain't." He said, "Do you want to eat tonight?" And I said, "Well, I hope so. I guess it looks going to have hot dogs or hamburgers." "Oh, no. I'll get you some bass. Let me go back up to pickup." Went back in the pickup, and he picked out a stick of dynamite.
Because Winters masterfully transformed personal chaos into pure art, his legendary storytelling continues to define modern comedy. 4. The historic performance of young Jonathan Winters in 1960s. When Jack Paar introduced Jonathan Winters to the national audience, they witnessed a singular talent that was completely impossible to imitate.
Before the show, he was still trying to decide whether he to be a drunken Eskimo, the queen of the Vikings, or a doorknob. I'd rather he came out simply as himself to begin with, because when he's Johnny Winters, he cannot be imitated. The wild, wild man, my friend Jonathan Winters.
While other comedians delivered highly polished routines, Winters instantly captivated the crowd with his raw and spontaneous conversational humor.
I had kind of a different day today. Several things happened I can't tell you about because they'd only embarrass you and embarrass me and have my family going. But I did a thing that a lot of us probably would like to do.
As his creative mind never stopped spinning, he easily transformed simple observational anecdotes into theatrical masterpieces.
I just come out of the shower, and here was my dog just... You know they can't talk, right? That's the way they look at you, that... And wagged her little tail and went out and told her friends what she'd seen.
Although his performances seemed totally chaotic, Winters possessed a sophisticated understanding of classic storytelling traditions.
I like a good, solid horror picture. And I'd like to give you a typical horror picture, my horror picture. You often say to yourself, why do all horror pictures start the same way? It's never a clear night, never. It's always a rainy night, bolt of lightning.
If he shifted into his extended improvisational routines, his incredible vocal range allowed him to portray multiple characters.
How are you, Dr. Fralick? This is, I take it, your servant. Igor, I've told you to go into the basement. Poor devil, he's a little, you know. Well, it's been a long time, Jamie. Must have been at least 20 years have passed since we worked together there at Friedhofen.
While his physical comedy kept the viewers thoroughly entertained, his rapid-fire transitions highlighted an unmatched intellectual sharpness.
Been dead for over 50 years. I call her the princess. Come in, my child. Lovely creature, isn't she? She's come down for her harp lessons. Jamie, there's...
Because he rejected traditional jokes and written setups, Winters always relied on his sharp wit to survive on stage.
I told you about this project. I want you to look under that sheet and see what I've been working on. Well, Look! I hope I didn't see what I saw.
Even though decades have passed since this famous broadcast, his unique brand of absurdity remains a true benchmark for comedy.
I've changed my mind. I'm going to release them tonight. Those little men, where are they going? What are they looking for? They're looking for little women.
5. How Bob Costas revealed the brilliant mind of Jonathan Winters. When Bob Costas hosted Jonathan Winters in 1988, they discussed the deep emotional cost of comedic genius.
My home changes a lot. If I have a bad season, of course, a lot of the toys are sold. But if I have a good season, then I'm able to get the jukebox back, never with the innards in it, because that's really expensive. The trains, I like to go. There's a guy who lives up the street from me who was in World War II. I'm wearing this for him. He probably can't see the show right now because he doesn't have his glasses. I stepped on him. And this is what would they call the ruptured duck? And
the ruptured duck.
Ruptured duck.
Yeah.
This was when I got discharged. They gave us, well, everybody that was in the service. You could be, you know, sewing buttons on an overcoat.
Although millions of fans adored his eccentric characters, Winters constantly struggled with a very quiet and vulnerable inner life.
And I told him at the time, now we're going back to 1944, I said, I find you to be a very attractive man. And a lot of Marine majors don't catch on that quickly because many of them, I might say, are extremely bright. Most of them are. This guy probably had a lot on his mind at the time. You know, the shells were coming in. And I said, I find you to be a very attractive man, and many of the men like you. And I said, Major, you know, what you need for the men to really follow you is a white horse.
Because his professional career began on local radio, he quickly learned how to paint vivid pictures using only sounds.
It had been defused by me. And I bought it in an antique shop on 3rd Avenue, walked in, and I said, how about an extra scotch? Well, of course, I must admit my movements were considerably slower after well into the second quart. I have a second scotch. And my tongue was trying to pick up flies, and so the guy said, and rightfully so, "You've had enough, Mr. Winters," which, of course, set me off. You know, various people get set off at various times, and he was being a little curt with me.
While many veterans preferred to bury wartime trauma, Winters openly shared his experiences in the brutal Pacific Theater.
Parts of your bits and embellished on them, or in some cases flat out stolen them. But who was your inspiration?
Well, I was always inspired by two guys that weren't so much. Well, there were several people that I was inspired by. Interestingly enough, they weren't comedians. It's not that I didn't see other comedians like Laurel and Hardy. My God, are two of the funniest guys that ever lived and still are. Marx Brothers, people like that. I found a very funny man and tremendous writings, and I was very much influenced by James Thurber.
Mm-hmm.
And also Benchley, I thought was a very funny man.
Robert Benchley.
Since those intense wartime memories deeply affected his youth, he later transformed that pain into a powerful creative frequency.
It's fed me in more ways than one.
That just about does it for this evening. Hope you've had a lot of fun and enjoyed our little show. And watch us in the weeks to come. Oh, incidentally, there's a signal from the mothership. They're trying to tell me something. What is it? They're trying to tell me something. Is that what they were trying to tell me? Don't forget those Tums, will you? I'll see you next week.
When the host explored his rapid-fire style, the legendary performer explained why taking massive risks was absolutely necessary.
An Aunt Clara I had, you know, and then I just made her kind of a dirty old woman. She fantasized a lot of studs that were 28 and 30 and put her in a bracket of marrying some 12 guys. And, hey, he's a nice-looking man. God, you can crack walnuts on his butt. He's cute.
It's obvious that you and Carson get along. I mean, he revels in your company when you're on the show. But Aunt Blabby is Maude Frickett, right? Do you have a problem with that?
Well, to tell you very honestly, I get along with Johnny. And
although other performers preferred memorized scripts, Winters always pushed himself toward the terrifying thrill of raw improvisation.
Robin, to me, is, oh boy, that's a very, that's more than an article. That's more than a book. This guy, I've always said, first off, we're friends, and I think we have a sort of hopefully a great respect for one another in many ways. It's like a great air show. Instead of having a Sopwith Camel, however, and Stearman.
Since his artistic passion went far beyond performing, he frequently sought peace in the quiet world of literature.
I hold in my hand a copy of Hang-Ups, paintings by Jonathan Winters. I'm told that Bill Cosby, Bob Hope, Alice Cooper all own Jonathan Winters' paintings. Paintings with titles like Crazy Old Woman at the Beach with Sunburned Boobs.
Alice Cooper owns that.
He does?
Yeah. Bill Cosby, and Bill, wherever you are, I gave Bill a painting called A Tree in South Boston. Bill, I need money now. Please send me a handsome amount. People will tell you that money isn't everything. That's a lie. You give me all the money you want, and I'll be the judge of it.
What about Two Birds?
While his visual art used bright and beautiful colors, his paintings often mirrored the deep shadows in his mind.
What are the little licorice things? And I said, they stick to the town. They're bombs.
Yeah, they are bombs, evidently.
But it's hopefully a fun book. And
what about the book of short stories, Winter's Tales?
Winter's Tales is a collection. That took me 5 years to do that. I sat down. People would say, well, why did it take so long? I guess a writer would understand. But I really, I guess it took that long because I had a few other things I had to do to crowd in there, make a living. And, but I'm proud of that little book. It was 14 weeks on the bestseller list, New York Times. And we sold upwards of over 200,000 copies now in paperback.
Because he possessed a highly sophisticated observational eye, Winters found brilliant humor in the boring details of society.
#1 pitcher in the American and the National League.
Well, I suppose I consider myself, real lucky. I got a good fastball I did this year, and clocked over better than no one from 09, over 100, 112 miles an hour. And I've kept myself in fairly good condition. And in the off season, my wife and I are interested in illegitimate children, and we see that they are allowed to fish. Their creek that we have 50,000 acres.
Whenever Costas asked about his mental health struggles, the icon responded with a touching mix of honesty and wit.
Well, I was in art school, and my wife turned to me and she said, "Look at your work." She was a great help to me. And
you were married young.
Oh God, I thought it was a pretend wedding. You know, when you put a paper band on a cigar band, I thought they were kidding, and it turned out it was real. But at any rate, yeah, I was 2 months short of 23.
Yeah.
And she said, "Put the art down. I think you should try to." This is a true story. Pathetic, but it's true. And she said, they're giving away a wristwatch.
If young artists wanted to find real success, Winters advised them to embrace their deepest insecurities on stage.
At any rate, I said, "I'm going to New York." I was a cocky kid, and I was broke. And I turned to my wife, and I had one little boy, which is now a big boy of 38. But I said, "I'm going to New York. See if the monkey's playing with a little girl in the building, King Kong."
Well, thanks for the explanation.
Well, a lot of folks who don't know, you know, they're saying.
What kind of monkey was it?
You know, Fay Ray's still living.
Oh, I know that. Is she?
Yeah.
Fay?
I just thought I'd throw that in.
How you doing? Remember?
Although modern entertainment frequently relied on cheap shock value, Winters preferred to craft timeless characters with real humanity.
In the mist, and you could see some of the stitching. But
most of those were real gorillas with Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, I didn't know
There were only like a few prop gorillas in that deal.
Oh, I thought 4 or 5 of them were fake. No? Well, then
not
the
so
guy
far as
that was
I know.
I shouldn't have gone with that stunt guy. He told me that. God damn it.
Can you get on an elevator for real, or walk down the street, or walk into a room of new acquaintances without being demanded, without having it demanded of you to perform, to go into one of your characters?
Sure.
People give you that kind of peace of mind now? Or they demand it of you to the point where it's driving you loony?
When discussing the isolation of mainstream fame, he quietly admitted that public applause could never heal childhood wounds.
Harvard Law, Wharton Business School, 2 years at Yale. It's unfortunate. Learn to read. Yeah, Lafayette didn't pay off for you. Sunk it to you.
Jonathan Winters, more tonight on Later.
Is this seat taken?
No.
A lot of them are, you know.
Well,
You have to purchase them, you know, before you go on the trip.
Well, no one's had it for...
No one's had it?
No, sir.
Good.
No, sir.
Beautiful day.
It is a lovely
It's going to
day.
get rough tomorrow.
You can tell, or you've...
Well, I've been on these things every year.
Yes.
Yes, every year. I'm single, and that's all I do is just take these cruises. They're a lot of fun. Meet lots of girls.
Because his unique comedic frequency revolutionized late-night television, he paved a clear path for future generations of artists.
It's just so bad.
How much of what you've done comedically through the years is inspired by some kind of pain and anxiety?
Oh, I think that pain is, I think all of us, hopefully. God, I wouldn't want to be a person that didn't have some pain. I think that sounds strange, I guess, to a lot of people. I think you need a certain amount of pain. I mean, if it's just like life going along like this, and no chuck holes, you know. Here, drive on. Gosh, this road is certainly... I wish we'd see a little corduroy road.
While his brilliant mind could easily overwhelm any interviewer, Winters showed deep respect for Costas's highly intelligent questions.
So, at any rate, the thing is to complain and say, and Dick was honest in this. I'm not putting him down to say, hey, didn't you have some trouble here? You got a little squirrely here, the sauce, the gasoline. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, for him to ask that question, or for me to answer it and start to say, God, you know, these were terrible times for me, Bob. And I want to tell people that at one time I had to do this, and another time put the gasoline down, and I ran into the tree, and a lot of the squirrels were killed instantly. The guy out there making...
Since he refused to conform to commercial industry standards, Winters always remained a fiercely independent creative force.
Cattle calls, I worked in factories, I shucked some corn and picked apricots with some Mexicans, and done a few little things that still, I can see the black lunchbox, you know. What'd you get today?
Yeah.
Peanut butter sandwich. What a wonderful thrill.
stalk of celery. Oh, God.
Hey, are we going to get a dime extra?
I don't know, man. I can't stand it anymore. 2 of my fingers was cut off, and they don't insure this plant. What am I going to do?
Take these and paste them on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. What a wonderful man,
You've
Christian.
certainly given me a different perspective on the entire issue. So no more of this sob sister talk, that's for sure.
That's right, that's out.
Back after this.
Hello again. My name's Oscar Devling.
Although his erratic behavior sometimes worried television executives, his exceptional artistry always guaranteed a deeply fascinated audience.
I used to have a dog, but he constantly bit the guy that delivered the papers, so there were still a lot of suits. The dog hung on to him and took his life. Oh, yeah. And so now I have a dog on a track, comes right down, and we lose him that way. So anyway, I get down the paper, and I get the paper, and then I come in, I have coffee, some grapefruit. I go right to the sports page, which a lot of intellectuals do. And I read I know what's going to be on the cover, you know, war and...
When he reflected on the inevitable process of aging, Winters maintained his beautiful belief in the power of play.
If you want to sell it ever, I don't want to sell her. Certainly not in America. I think we go to another continent. Could bring some people.
Resale value higher.
Resale.
Yeah.
No, she's a great gal, and she's got a great sense of humor. She once said to me, which she didn't have to say, she said, I think you're one of the funniest guys in the world. I think that you're a great success. I've always been behind you. I always will. She said, people have called you a genius. That's okay. I'll go along with that. The day that you think you're a genius, you're out of my life. And probably you'll be out of your guard. And
Don't you have moments of genius, though?
God, I hope so. This alone, being right here in this chair.
Because he dedicated his entire existence to making others laugh, his massive influence continues to shape modern comedy today.
What way do you want to go?
Well, I'm not sure I really want to be booked on the trip at all, but I'd just like to get all the particulars in a row before I make a decision.
God, what the story on that clown?
No, I must tell you, I guess time has run out, hasn't it?
Well,
I'm sure it has, gang. Look.
Even though Winters fought painful personal demons throughout his life, his brilliant determination to find humor remains an immortal legacy. 6. The artistic family roots that inspired young Jonathan Winters in Ohio. When Winters discussed his early childhood experiences, his family displayed a surprising amount of cold indifference toward his growing career.
Stand by, quiet, please.
I was doing a picture at Universal. Don Weiss was the director, I always remember that. I had a 3-minute scene. That's a long scene, I think. And they allowed me to improvise, so it had to be right. I couldn't stumble and grope or anything else. My dad had never been...
Although millions of strangers loudly applauded his performances, Winters desperately craved some simple validation from his very distant parents.
We get into the scene. We're almost within 30 seconds of finishing. And the sound guy took off the pods. I could see him out to the left, right. He said, I'm picking up voices here. We're going to have to cut, Don. We're going to have to cut. Cut it. I just knew it was my old man. Later on that day, well, how was I to know? They were way out of range, and they wouldn't pick up the voice. Oh, they heard you.
Since he received very little emotional support at home, the young artist quickly learned to use humor as his protective shield.
I remember seeing...
It's like my mother, when I was in The Russians Are Coming, which is a big picture for me, and Springfield, showed in Springfield. And I said, Mother, did you see playing the Regency downtown? It's a town of 87,000 people. My mother was in radio, by the way, had her own show, so she was a pro. And I said, did you go down, did you see The Russians Are Coming, the movie I was in? Had a good chunk in it. And she just said, you know, we never...
When Winters analyzed his rich artistic roots, he credited his parents for shaping his legendary improvisational mind.
Well, she was, well, not so much a DJ. My mother started out really in the 30s as an actress. And I say an actress
At that time in the Middle West, they had what they called civic theater, which is little theater. They were Broadway plays, and they just put them together in Ohio or Indiana, Illinois, Nebraska, whatever. But they were originally Broadway plays and had actors, stars in the East, in New York.
Since his mother possessed a powerful stage presence, Winters closely observed her early acting career to build his own foundations.
And she had quite a following and quite a show for a number of years. And I remember when Arlene Francis came through, I was just about ready to go in the Marines, and I was sitting in the studio, and my mother was always, "Be still. You don't say anything, any little gestures in your face or anything else, just sit still and watch me." So I sat there, and Miss Francis came in, and she looked around. First time I'd heard this expression. And she said, who are you? And my mother said, "I'm Alice Bowman. I'll be interviewing you."
While her sharp wit could easily intimidate casual guests, she taught her son how to deliver fast verbal retorts.
Then I did for my dad. My dad loved to tell jokes, and I used to say to him, which is kind of a normal thing in society, really, whatever field you're in, "I got a joke for you. You get a kick out of this," really. And if it's a long joke, you tend to drop, and so it's a short joke now. But my dad, toward the end of his life, he would say, "I know you don't like jokes, but let me tell you this joke." And he would continue to tell me a joke, which endeared me to him.
Although his father preferred to share traditional jokes, Winters deeply cherished these rare moments of genuine family connection.
Still alive?
No, they're both gone.
Do you feel that her involvement in the theater was the catalyst for you to?
I don't know. I think that had always something to do with it. My dad ended up, he had a lot of jobs, and then ended up a stockbroker. And of course, they're funny people today, prove that. They investigated with millions of dollars being taken from people.
Because both parents maintained a very demanding attitude, their complex personalities became the primary catalyst for his artistic journey. 7. The touching and whimsical final interview of Jonathan Winters. When the interviewer visited Winters' quiet home in California, the comedy icon reflected on his lifelong commitment to artistic freedom.
Here, interviewing comedy legend Jonathan Winters. How would you introduce yourself?
Same way you did.
Really? Short and sweet.
A little more. Comedy legend. I think, of course, I've been called a genius. Before you say anything, my idea of a genius is a man who can do everything but find work.
Although he collected many prestigious accolades over his career, Winters always maintained a highly humble view of his own success.
Staff is looking at all the awards there. I saw one where you got the Lifetime Achievement Award for comedy in 1986.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Back then even. Already it was a lifetime of achievement.
Well...
What does it get to at this point now?
An Oscar.
Yeah? Would you like that?
I'd like one, yes, I would receive it. It'd be fun to walk up to...
Since personal loss deeply affected his emotional health in old age, Winters regularly used his active imagination to survive.
But
Do you still think about women?
Do I think about women?
Mm-hmm.
God is in my mind, and the devil's in my pants.
Okay.
I have a lady, my wife died 4 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
They had 60 years. And I've told African-American people, you don't have a monopoly on slavery.
While his children lived very close to his beautiful estate, Winters constantly felt the heavy weight of aging alone.
I had a bad fall, and I was hospitalized. Old people fall a lot. I drank a lot and never fell.
Huh.
If I fell toward the glass. But at any rate, I had a bad fall. I was in the hospital. My kids live down the road here. They're there, for the will.
If he faced a dull or boring social gathering, His brilliant mind automatically created a lively performance to entertain others.
And it was not easy going to party after party and sitting there. The thing is, I stood up, you get a little bored. So I stood up and did a little stint, and my wife said, "Sit down, you're causing a scene." And I said, "Yes, and you're not in it."
Since he loved to experiment with random physical objects, Winters could easily construct a complex and hilarious theatrical sketch.
This is what I would call a horny hammer. That gets a laugh when you're pulling nails out of a wall. This obviously is a hammer, but whose hammer? Right here. This hammer belonged to Magritte, wonderful artist, surrealist. Imagine, this was his hammer.
Although the public expected him to be funny all the time, Winters often preferred quiet moments of peaceful reflection.
You know an interesting thing with a hammer? I use a hammer a lot, especially when I'm eating lobster. They don't crack them enough. But here's the thing. Supposing I drive the nail and I miss it and hit my thumbnail. I don't mean this is a blasphemous statement. The guy says, "Jesus Christ." He never says Buddha.
When he felt the pressure of mainstream media expectations, Winters simply created eccentric characters to escape his daily reality.
Somewhat, you know.
Were you a good pilot?
I was co-pilot, and they're as good as they can get.
Is it true that you once flew over the Bermuda Triangle?
Yes, and I had a hell of a time getting out of that. We went this way, that way, well, the triangle, you know.
Yeah.
And I was on the radio constantly saying, I don't know if we'll ever make it out of here.
Because he rejected conventional rules of late-night entertainment, his spontaneous comedic frequency remained absolutely unmatched in the industry.
Yeah.
And you're taken away forever. How did you manage to get out?
Oh, I jumped out.
Oh.
I always wear a parachute, and I jumped out. So I'm not a cannibal.
What about the other passengers?
I could care less. Those people drank, and yeah. They want to have fun, you know, and margaritas and.
So you're the sole survivor
I am
of the Bermuda Triangle disaster.
Yeah.
Huh.
If a conversation touched on highly sensitive personal matters, Winters used his sharp wit to protect his vulnerable feelings.
She said, "What is your sign?" I said, "Slippery when wet." No. What is your sign in the galaxy? I got one. I'm a Scorpio. Oh, God, those people. Yeah.
Because he viewed the world as one giant stage for play, Winters never allowed old age to kill his spirit.
You have another book that you're doing, by the way. It's called Playground.
Oh, yes. In Search of a Playground.
In Search of a Playground. That kind of sums it up in life.
Well, I think that playgrounds are disappearing every hour, real playgrounds.
I thought you were talking figuratively, looking for a place for fun and a place
Well,
to...
yes, you're right. The merry-go-round, the swings, that kind of, they're gone for the most part.
While his body slowly grew weaker over the years, his brilliant storytelling remained a beautiful and powerful force of nature.
Well, where have you been? I was just raped in the parking lot. And the man took my mother's pin. That's what annoyed me. Your mother's pin? What about the rape? I never thought about that. I can't get the pin back.
You always liked voices. Was that like when you were a child, did you know that?
This intimate final interview beautifully proves why Jonathan Winters remains the absolute king of spontaneous comedy. Which of his whimsical stories made you smile the most today? Tell us in the comment section down below. And please subscribe to our incredible channel for more legendary late-night videos right now.